following has been developed by state and provincial agencies in association with the Agency for Instructional Television. Together, serving education.
I've written this poem and I think it's really great. I'd like you to tell me what you think. Maybe your comments can help me improve it.
Sure.
I see you in the oceans, I see you in the trees. I see you in the mountains, I see you in the air. I see you everywhere, so there. Well, it's a love poem, sort of.
Well, I think that poem is funny. What did I say?
You made fun of that poem.
Yeah, but if he'd stuck around long enough, I would have told him that I liked it, too.
Oh, that was a mistake. Maybe you should have started out by saying something nice first. If you're going to be a critic, why not be a constructive critic? Constructive critics can really help a person who's writing something or working on a speech by offering the person a different point of view. Have you ever had a friend come up to you and say, "Read this and tell me what you think"? Here are Sally Ann and Rita. Sally is reading a paper that Rita wrote. Oh, Rita, was this paper part of a school assignment?
Oh, no, I just wrote it because I like to write.
What's it about?
It's about a girl that wanted to play video games with some friends, but her parents didn't let her. They had a big fight.
Hey, wait a minute. Didn't you have a fight with your parents last week about going to the video game arcade?
Yeah, that's where I got the idea for the story.
Who won the argument?
My parents.
Who wins in your story?
Well, the girl, of course. I don't write these things to lose.
Okay, finish.
And?
I thought it was...
Good?
Oh, I thought it was pretty...
What?
Pretty dull. Boring, maybe.
Whoops, hold it. Sally, could I see you over here for a second? You probably missed what I said earlier because you were reading Rita's paper. One good idea for a constructive critic is to be positive.
Be positive. Yeah, okay, sure.
Let's see how it works out now.
I thought your story was really good. As far as when the girl talked to her friends, it sounded really real. But as far as the rest of it...
What?
It was kind of slow. What a stupid story.
Stupid? You think everything I do is stupid.
I didn't say anything you do is stupid. I said that you think everything you do is right. You can't take the truth.
Yeah, well, my sister read it. She thought it was good.
You and your sister think alike. It's like Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Let's stop right there. I don't know how Rita's sister got into this. Maybe we ought to consider some ways to be a constructive critic. Suggestions that might help you avoid the kind of thing that Rita and Sally got into. First of all, be positive, remember? By starting off with a positive comment, you can help put the person at ease. Be tactful. Watch your choice of words. When you say things like boring or stupid, you do run the risk of insulting the person. Finally, be specific. General comments like, "I liked it" or "it's cute" are okay, but specific comments are usually more helpful. What exactly did you like and why? What exactly bothered you? What did you feel was the real problem? Above all else, you should remember this. As a constructive critic, you want to help, and the way you help is to give your well-thought-out opinion. This is Tom Bethencourt. He's an author who writes young adult fiction. You might have read one or two of his books. He understands how sensitive the job of critic can be.
I'd respond to it by remembering what Mark Twain said. He said that you can't really be mad at any man who likes your work, your dog, or your children. And you must understand, when somebody's just finished writing something, it is his or her child. It it has been a part of the inside of you, and all of a sudden you're giving it out to the world, and in fact you're afraid for the whole world to look at it, so you give it to a trusted friend and hope that because that person is your friend, that they're really not going to wound your work or your new child. It's that sensitive. But you must realize, too, that when anybody gives their work to you to read, something they've just finished, they're saying, hey, I really like you and appreciate you, and I trust what your mind is about. I trust what you think, and I will value your opinion. Well, you've got to walk very carefully at this point, because when somebody's just written something, as I say, it's like a child. And you even run a risk of losing a lifetime friend by speaking before you have carefully considered what's been shown to you. And I'd say read it 2 or 3 times before you say anything. And what even makes it worse is when somebody's just written something, they want your opinion right away. They'll even call you up and say, did you read it yet? Did you read it yet? Tell me what you think. Please, don't say it right away. Think for a while. Make your opinion on what you've read and what you really think. The other thing is, all of us read every day. But we don't really read every word. We probably read about every 3rd or 4th word. And here's somebody coming to you who has really gone through all kinds of changes just over where the comma is and each word, and wants you to read every word exactly. So, best you do. Give yourself the time to do it and say, yeah, I'll come back. When you see something that's done well, explain why you think it's done well. Not say, hey, that was real swift there, what you did on page 3. No. Explain why you thought it was real swift, why it made you laugh, or why it really grabbed you. Explain why. And then once you've explained why, or explain why not, you've opened up a way for the two of you to exchange information and both benefit, because otherwise all you're saying was, I didn't like it, I liked it, I like this part, I didn't like this part. That's like sorting strawberries. That's a good one, that's a bad one, that's a good... No, you have to have your reasons. And perhaps, as a critic, it becomes your responsibility to read just as carefully as the person who wrote it.
The process of critiquing is not always easy, but if you're a constructive critic, and if the person is willing to listen, the work will nearly always be improved. And don't get the idea the work is always going to be something like a poem or a story. It might be something like directions, a guide of how to get around town.
Yeah, it's okay.
Do you think they'll understand it?
How am I supposed to know?
Hi guys, what's happening? Listen, will you read this over and tell me what you think?
What is it?
She's just fishing for compliments.
I am not. It's a set of directions, kind of like a guide, on how to get to places around here from my house.
What for?
We have this foreign exchange student coming to live with us.
Oh yeah, the one from Australia.
Australia.
Remember last year when David was here from Hong Kong? Well, he spent the first 3 weeks getting lost, so I decided to make a complete set of directions.
Hey Joyce, that's a great idea.
Are you happy now? Everyone thinks it's a great idea.
That's not the point. How about the way I organized it?
Well, I was wondering about that. Doesn't seem organized at all to me.
Oh, well, I listed things in the order of importance, like directions on getting to school are the first because he'll be going to school every day.
Well, yeah, but after a couple days of going to school, he won't need directions anymore. I really don't think you can say which place is more important than another.
Besides, how are we supposed to know what's important to someone from Australia?
I know. Maybe I can group them together by category. Like all the sightseeing places in one group and all the places about school in another group.
Yeah, and all the places where you can buy records and clothes. That sounds like a much better way to do it to me.
Yeah, I think I'll go do that right now.
Darlene, if I write something, will you critique it for me?
Sure will.
Darlene, will you go to the after-game dance with me?
Sure won't.
Why? What's wrong with me?
Are you asking me to be a constructive critic?
Yeah, but don't forget, say something positive. Well?
Don't rush me, I'm thinking.
Darlene will think of something, I bet. Did you notice how well she handled her job as critic? She liked the idea of the set of directions and told Joyce. She was most helpful when she became specific. Her opinions on the organization helped Joyce come up with a better idea. Of course, Joyce didn't have quite the emotional involvement in her set of directions that, say, Rita did in her short story. Speaking of Rita and Sally Ann, maybe it's time to let them try again. But before we do, let's assume Rita and Sally Ann have a little better idea of the role of the critic.
Okay, finished.
And?
I thought it was really good. What do you want to be, a writer or something?
You liked it?
Yeah, I like the way the kids talk to each other. It didn't sound phony. But,
What but?
it was a little slow.
You're absolutely right. Oh, Rita. Are you really interested in what Sally thinks?
Well, yeah, I asked her, didn't I?
Well, you're going to have to listen to her.
Okay, so you thought the paper was bad because it was dull.
I didn't say it was bad. I just said that it was slow at some parts.
So you want me to cut it in some places?
Yeah,
And what?
the people.
What about the people?
Well, this story's about you and your folks, right?
How'd you figure that out?
Come on, the video games. And I know your parents are interesting people, but the people in the story aren't interesting, and they're always wrong.
So you want me to make them more real?
Yeah? Yeah, and maybe show a different side to them.
Okay. I could sort of explain why they didn't want the girl to go. That they just wanted to watch out for her. That they loved her.
Good.
But the girl still wins.
After all, we don't write these things to lose.
Well, there you have it, a pretty good critique. It got off on the right foot and it stayed on the right foot. And Rita's story is going to gain because of insights that Sally Ann was able to bring to it. Sally started off by being positive. She was tactful. When pointing out things she thought could be improved, she was specific. A constructive critic and a writer form a sort of partnership. They're a team, and they work together toward the same goal, to improve the work.
What? It was kind of slow. Stupid story.
Stupid? You think everything I do is stupid.
I didn't say anything you do is stupid. I said that you think everything you do is right. You can't take the truth.
Yeah, when my sister read it, she thought it was good.
You and your sister think alike. It's like Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Are you asking me to be a constructive critic?
Yeah, but don't forget, say something positive. Well?
Don't rush me, I'm thinking.
This series was produced by the Tom Eberhart Company through the facilities of KRMA and KOCE-TV under the supervision of the Agency for Instructional Television.